I I kind of like it. Han Solo, a Star Wars story, released in 2018, directed by Ron Howard, starring Aldrin Ehrenreich, Junice Suotamo, Woody Harrelson, Donald Glover, and Emilia Clarke, with a budget of $275 million, worldwide taking of $392 million, for a profit of $117 million, less all marketing and associated costs, which means the profit isn't going to be very big at all. It's worth noting that this one costs more than your average Marvel movie, which comes in at $200 to $250 million. Okay, so a lot has been said about this movie, right? Some people love it, some people hate it. Most of us agree that we don't know why they did it. Kind of feels like they got a little punch drunk on the success of episode 7 and Rogue One, and as a result of this one falling in its face and then number 8 not doing so great, the brakes were applied, they ripped the parachute, they called a halt, which is probably a good thing because then they got to stop and step back and have a look at what they really wanted to do, and now they've decided to focus on TV for a while, and that's working out pretty well for them. I feel like focusing on what made this feel so very Star Wars. I mean, I've already done a review about this one. I've done a full review, which you can go check out. But for now, let's just talk about what really worked. And one of the things I particularly enjoyed was the fleshing out of the universe. I now know what the downtown industrial side of Corellia looks like. I know what the spice mines look like. I know what the Parsec Run looks like. I know what an undamaged, unmodified Millennium Falcon looks like. We saw what a ground war for the Imperial Army looks like. Got to check out a new snow planet. I always love it when they go to the snow. And we got to see another coastal desert sort of place. That was cool too. Lots of cool characters. The origin of Han Solo and Chewbacca, their origin story. You know, in many ways not as cool as I'd hoped it had been, but at the same time better than a lot of its portrayals in some of the comics and some of the other media. So that I'm happy with that overall. By other media, I mean short comics, snippets of conversation, alluded to facts, briefly mentioned lines in other books. There wasn't really much that I'm aware of. I'm sure that I'm going to get educated very shortly if I'm wrong. So anyway, despite the fact that Han Solo, the title character, kind of only occasionally felt like Han Solo, didn't really get the whole Solo vibe going on for me. I love the rest of this movie for its Star Warsiness. It was so very Star Wars, both in the look and the feel and theme of it all. It was the underworld of Star Wars characterized as I kind of thought it might be. And the fact that none of the heroes were really heroes. Also fun. They really ran the gamut of scum and villainy in this, and that was nice. As I've said before, this one actually felt like an RPG game that I've run. On Richard, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure you were in the actual game that I ran that felt like this movie. I'm just trying to think of the character. This feels like setting for a computer game or a novel or something else set in the Star Wars universe. It fits. It honestly fits the Star Wars universe as I enjoy it, as I see it, perfectly. It's just a shame they called it Han Solo. If they'd given this guy a different name, just another Star Warsy sort of name, and made it a completely unrelated side story, and maybe swapped out Chewbacca for someone else, you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have cared. Keep Lando, that's not a problem. Keep the Millennium Falcon, also cool. They would have given us a little bit of background to that we never saw before, and we can make our own assumptions for later on. You know, that would have been neat. Pull the title character out, and the movie still works, which is good and not so good at the same time. Overall, look, I enjoyed this movie, but I do have a problem when it comes to the scoring. Do I slot it into the middle ground where it easily sits, or do I put it one higher? It feels like it should go one higher just because of how much it gave me, how much it presented for me in the Star Wars universe. At the same time, it kind of managed to botch Han Solo in his own movie, which means it kind of should just stay where it is. Okay, I'm going to leave it in the middle, mainly because my mind just wandered off on the topic for about 10 minutes, and I have as much fun watching this as I do A New Hope, and I can't really pick which one I prefer to watch more. So yeah, leave it in the middle. There you go. There's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you've seen this movie as well. What did you think about it? Comment down below on the Facebook page. And as always, I hope you're having a great week and that you get some time to go and watch a movie.